Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, America, and welcome back to Pulse City, where we always bet on black. I'm your host, Marcus Hardy, black again. And today we got a topic that's very, very disturbing to both me, you, and everybody else. And that's about Alleah Taylor.
This is Angela Say This, voice of the people. And I'm going to speak about this particular situation as a black woman and from that particular point of view. When I see Alleah Taylor, I see my friends, I see my family members, my sisters. I see someone who loved a man, trusted a man, and that trust was broken in the highest regard.
A lot of you have probably seen images of Alleah online recently, and maybe you're like me where I saw this woman, photos of her bleeding, nose broken in the hospital, things like that. And I really didn't pay attention, right? Just to be honest, I'm just going on about my life. But I had to do a little bit of research for this video. After researching this crazy story, it's just like I said, disturbing, right? Very, very sick set of circumstances that occurred to this woman. Alleah Taylor, as you know, was dating Chad Wheeler. Chad Wheeler is a white gentleman, offensive lineman for the Seattle Seahawks. Very famous team, won a Super Bowl ring a few years ago. Russell Wilson, Ciara, Future, all that stuff, right? They were in a relationship, and one night everything went downhill. She knows that he loves that hair, right? It's like his trademark. And she saw that his hair was cut off, so it alarmed her. She knew in the back of her mind that something was wrong. He proceeded to beat her down, allegedly, right? First off, I just want to give a disclaimer that it's always innocent until proven guilty. So anyway, he beat her up, broke bones, choked her out, in and out of consciousness, broke bones, everything, the whole nine.
She had to secretly call the police, and the police had to detain him. Chad Wheeler is not just an NFL player, but he is white. And unfortunately, it's already starting. It's already starting trying to find ways to blame her for the violence that was perpetuated to her and against her.
Towards the end of the beating, she woke up from being unconscious, and he said, quote unquote, "Wow, you're still alive," which is out of control crazy. Like, this is beyond crazy. After a while, she went back unconscious, woke up again. He was on the phone with his dad saying, hey, everything's all good. He's eating dinner while she's laying in a pool of blood.
Chad Wheeler has pleaded not guilty in his case in regards to her, and he stated that he was going through a mental health episode at the time that he was beating Alleah Taylor, as he was. To me, that shows a lack of accountability. He's apologized publicly. I believe it was on an Instagram post or something like that. Said that he was getting the help that he needed, et cetera, et cetera.
Somehow, some way, she gets to the hospital, gets out of there, takes pictures, goes through surgery and things like that. Seattle Seahawks find out. They immediately, within 48 to 72 hours, they fire Chad from the team. And Alleah Taylor does mention in some of the interviews that I saw that he is bipolar, right? We'll talk about this later on. I don't find that to be an excuse, right?
I believe that mental health issues are real, and they are issues that definitely need to be handled with care. What I don't respect and don't appreciate is that Chad is using that mental health crisis and bipolar disorder, which is what he was diagnosed with, as the excuse for why he beat Alleah the way he did. There are millions of people that suffer from mental health illnesses. There are millions of people that have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. The majority of them do not beat up their spouses.
But whether you have a mental disorder or you're a completely sane person, if you commit crimes, you got to do the time. But maybe he goes for 30 years into a hospital if he was truly crazy and it wasn't him when he was doing this. But there's got to be a penalty. I always say there's got to be a penalty for stupidity, right? And there's got to be a penalty for criminal action. Whether you're sane or insane, you got to pay for it.
He is not willing to take accountability for his own actions, and he is hoping that he is going to get out of this unscathed or with a slap on the wrist. He knows what country he lives in. He knows that as a white man who has made millions of dollars, who is also a football player, the chances of him getting off very, very easy are high.
As a father of a black daughter, I believe that I need to instill into her never accept being hit by a man. We as men, we can argue with women, we can have shouting matches, we can scream, we can disagree, whatever. But you should never find yourself, unless there's some crazy extreme circumstances that I can't think of right now, you should never find yourself putting hands on women, right? It just shouldn't be a thing, right? And recently we have seen a lot of black women, whether they're famous black women or married or dating athletes and rappers and things like that, have been caught in these domestic violence situations.
Whole City family, as a community and as a people, we have to do better. We have to protect Black women. We deserve to be protected just like any other type of person on this earth. And we deserve to be believed. All of the detectives and reporters and everything that's going to go and judge up every and anything that she's ever done in her entire life, just to find a little bit of reason for why she deserved what happened to her. We have to do better as a community to believing our victims, full stop, without the question. And I know it's hard for some people to see a Black woman and think they need help with anything, but we do. We are just like every other type of person on this earth. We can't do everything ourselves. And the fact that it is perpetuated that we are stronger than most is the reason why we have issues with the medical system, and the reason why doctors don't believe us when we're in pain, and the reasons why Alleah can get beaten up by her 6-something, 200-something pound football player white boyfriend, and someone find a reason for why she deserved it. This is a situation that domestic violence and things of that nature, these things aren't new. We've seen these all over the place in our own communities, friends, family members, etc. And we need to do better as a family and as a community to remember that we are indeed each other's business. If you are a friend of Chad's and a family member of Chad's and you're sticking up for him, you got to probably think about that. What about you can look at the photos of Alleah Taylor and see all the bruises and the blood, the sling that her arm is in, the damage that your friend and your family member did to her, and still go, well, I'm going to support him.
Now, I do like what the NFL did. They kind of kept a little bit of consistency because, like I said, so to see Chad Wheeler, a white guy, immediately get dismissed by his NFL team, as well as legal proceedings happening immediately. The trial was scheduled to start in April, I believe. Now it's going to start in June or something like that.
If you're watching this and you know someone, your friends or family member has beaten on a spouse, and you're still sticking by them or trying to find a way why that person deserved to be beat on, you need to look in the mirror a bit and figure out what is it about you and your conditioning that's allowing you to keep this person in your space, knowing that they have been violent to someone else. I pray that Alleah has her family and a support system that is there to work her through everything that is going through. Whole City fam, let's do better with our people, with our women, and with each other. I'm Angela Say This, voice of the people, and I'll see y'all next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for taking the time to hear us discuss this topic that is just, not often discussed in the community. Please like the video, please share with your friends and family, and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the flip side.
Oh my god, orange is not my new black.